can transform! Wow! Thanks! I think.
So Jazz probably has my favorite G1 design, aside from Soundwave, of course. And so when I saw they were reissuing this figure, I got fairly excited. Now, I wasn't actually planning on picking this guy up until later, like when it was on sale, but I saw him at Walmart, and I just guess I couldn't resist. Very quick look at the packaging. Here it is, and this box art really is starting to grow on me now. You know, I really like the way this is made, and then obviously this side profile where it actually has the name on it, that's probably my favorite thing. But yeah, pretty much what we can start getting used to. I really like the way this looks now. Honestly, it just like randomly sparked at me. Now, I'm not a super G1 fan. I mean, like, I like the designs mostly, but I've just barely scratched the surface of the show. But from what I've watched, like I said, Jazz is definitely my favorite Autobot. It's mostly the Porsche, because that's literally my dream car, but this guy just looks great. You can tell he's definitely early Studio Series 86, the same way you can tell like Blackout and Stinger are early Studio Series. But his plastic feels fine. Like, it doesn't feel cheap, but it also just doesn't feel as nice as we've gotten used to at this point. I also have no idea if there's any changes to this guy from the original, so if anyone knows, go ahead and help me out in the comments. But overall, he definitely does look good. He just has that presence on shelf that despite his couple issues he has, he just looks good on the shelf, and that's all I'm happy about. Now, in terms of accessories, it's pretty basic, but all you do get is his like little pistol right here. Nice and silver, lots and lots of details, which we love to see. And like I said, nice silver. This can peg into the top of the car or into the hand, whatever you please. It is Blast Effects compatible. So yeah, while he is definitely missing some of the articulation we've definitely become accustomed to with these modern day figures, he can definitely still strike a pose. Yeah, Jazz's articulation, pretty decent. Head is on a ball joint. You can look up about that much. You can look down about that much. Can tilt to a pretty good degree, and then can obviously rotate the full 360. The arms can go out to, supposed to be about there, but due to the wheel, they can go out a little bit higher. There is a 90-degree bend and a bicep swivel. No wrist rotation, but they can go in due to articulation, so you can probably get away with something on that. There is a waist swivel, little compromised by the backpack, but that does just move out the way. So you can get the full 360 on that waist swivel. Thigh rotation, and then these go up to about there, and then they bend like really annoyingly, because I'm sure you saw, they will just do that. These don't really peg in. That is something annoying. So you kind of have to grab them from the back, and then you do get that 90-degree bend. Then nice little ankle tilt, and then the feet can go down, and then there's his articulation. So like I said, it's not like outdated, but like it's not up to par with what we're used to in this day and age. For some comparisons, here is Studio Series 86 Jazz next to 86 Bumblebee, G1 Soundwave, G1 Optimus Prime, and finally G1 Galvatron. Now, the transformation is a little annoying. I mean, it's not really annoying, it's just almost scary because of all the clear plastic on top, but it does result in a very beautiful Porsche, which due to copyright reasons isn't actually a Porsche. So yeah, so the first thing I like to do is just come here and just tuck the wrists in, just like so. Then what I like to do is I like to just bring the feet down here and then rotate this section forward to about that far. You can kind of perfect it later on, so you just bring it to about that far for right now. Then what you can do is, like with that annoying knee bend, you can just bring this in, bring the whole leg in, just like so, and then just go ahead and just clip these together, just like so. Then move the backpack out the way, because what you're gonna want to do is unpeg that, and then before you forget, because I've forgotten this multiple times and it just gets tedious, you're just gonna want to bring this metal section, like the silver section, to the back. Do it however you want. You can rotate the whole thing or whatever you want. Then go ahead and take this thing and make sure it's out the way so that we can then move the head in like so. and then just go ahead and close it back up, just like so. Then you're gonna wanna take the doors, just open them a little bit more than they're like supposed to be in the transformation. And then here's one of the scary parts, because this thing does not like to stay on. You have to be very, very careful with it. No breakages, obviously, as you can see, but it doesn't like to stay on. I've had it pop off quite a few times, but that is what it should look like. You're then gonna wanna rotate the arms in and then rotate them so that way this tab is facing the outside, and then just get those nice and tucked in. Do the same thing on this other side. Push that in, rotate so the tab is sticking out. Make sure everything's all lined up here. Then push the doors out a little bit more, because you're gonna wanna use a double hinge joint right here to put that there. Get that lined up as much as you can for right now. And then there's a tab inside the door that will peg into the arms. So go ahead and just kind of move everything around until you do get it to click in. Do the same thing on this other side here. Like I said, just move it around. Boom, and then just make sure you push down on this back section. Not too hard so you don't break it, but just push down enough. And then, like I said, adjust these to get them perfect. Make sure everything's tabbed in, and there is Jazz in his vehicle mode.
Now, this vehicle mode looks perfect. And there's only one real problem I have, and it's the fact that the windows are still clear plastic. That bugs me for like 2 reasons. And one is it can break fairly easily. My Mirage is still broken to this day. He has no back windshield. And so I was really scared that that would happen with this guy. Luckily, it hasn't yet, at least at the time I'm recording this. But and two, they also just don't match the others. With modern day Studio Series 86 figures, we've gotten like used to these like blue painted windows, and they just look a million times better. They even gave us a redeco of this guy a couple years back, and so I don't know why they didn't just throw that on this guy. But it's really not that big of a problem, because you really can't notice it in robot mode, which is the main mode I'm going to be posing this guy in. And I really like the way this vehicle mode looks, because it just has the perfect amount of detail where like it's not empty, but like it just doesn't have too much, which was my problem with Starscream, because he just looked way too detailed for a G1 figure. But all of the wheels are mushroom pegged on, which sucks a little bit, but I can still make him roll, so that's pretty good. So all in all, I actually really, really like this guy. I mean, is he perfect? No. Would I still pick him up knowing what he feels like? Probably. This guy is nice, looks good in robot mode, and good enough in vehicle mode. So while I don't think he's anything to go crazy over, I am glad we don't have to worry about aftermarket prices, because those were like the only things stopping me from this guy. But anyways, that has been my look at the Transformers Studio Series Jazz, based on his appearance in Transformers the movie and the G1 show. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you'd be so kind to leave a like and subscribe, I would greatly appreciate it. And as always, have a good one. Thanks.